Mine's turning on, so.
Good evening, residents of Everett, Washington. I'd like to call to order the Everett City Council meeting of November 1st, 2023. The City Council meets all requirements of the State of Washington Open Public Meetings Act. Community members are welcome to join either in person, remote, on Zoom, or by calling in. For those who wish to participate in the future on Zoom, you'll find the instructions to register for public comment on the City of Everett website under the City Council Department. Please note we do not allow comments on any kind of campaigning, whether for or against ballot measures or candidates running for office. We also do not accept comments focused on personal matters that are unrelated to city business. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Franklin.
Here.
Vice President Tui.
Here.
Councilmember Ryan.
Here.
Councilmember Vogely.
She's running late but is coming.
Councilmember Schwab.
Here.
Councilmember Fosse.
Excused?
Councilmember Zarlingo.
Here.
President Stonecipher.
Here. I'd like to ask Vice President Tui, would you please lead us in the flag salute? Thank you. And Councilmember Zarlingo, would you please read the land acknowledgement?
Happily. This council wishes to acknowledge the original inhabitants of this place, the Snohomish people, and their successors, the Tulalip tribes. Since time immemorial, they've hunted, fished, gathered on, and taken care of these lands and waters. We respect their sovereignty, their right to self-determination, and honor their sacred spiritual connection with the land and the water. We will strive to be honest about our past mistakes and bring about a future that includes their people, stories, and voices to form a more just and equitable society.
Thank you. We'll move to approval of the minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of the October 25th meeting?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Vice President Tui.
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely.
Yeah, here. Yes.
Councilmember Schwab.
Yes.
Councilmember Zarlingo.
Yes.
President Stonecipher.
Yes. Good evening, Mayor Franklin.
Good evening, President Stonecipher and council and community. I have a few comments this evening. First, the cold weather has arrived and it's prompted early opening of our cold weather shelters. Anytime overnight temperatures are expected to be under 34 degrees during the season, we open cold weather shelters. And this season, the Everett Gospel Mission Women and Children's Shelter will be the cold weather shelter for single women and children. And temporarily, the Everett Gospel Men's Shelter will be cold weather shelter for single men. And the county shares the notification of those shelter openings across the county, not just here in Everett, and we will reshare that on the Everett City channels as well. And the Snohomish County is offering training, volunteer training, virtually tomorrow. More information is available on their Facebook if anyone's interested in participating in this cold weather shelters. Second, last week, the Everett Arena Football Club officially announced their name, which is the Washington Wolfpack. Very exciting. We have a football club, so congratulations to the team ownership, Mike Thomas, Miguel Morga, and Kelly Fahey. And so hopefully we'll all be able to catch a game. And then lastly, I'd like to announce that I've selected our current Deputy Chief, John DeRoos, to succeed Chief Templeman as Everett's new police chief. I'm proud to report that he accepted the position. It's a critical appointment I've been working on since the chief notified me of his retirement a few months ago. Finding a replacement for a leader like Chief Templeman is always challenging, and I'm grateful to Chief Templeman for his leadership, and I'm very grateful for the leadership he's developed throughout our department. And that is what allowed somebody like Deputy Chief DeRoos to be prepared for this job. John is hardworking, compassionate, and incredibly intelligent. He knows our community, and our community knows and trusts John very much. He's thoughtful and collaborative, and much like our current chief, he leads with integrity, professionalism, and honor. And I've had the opportunity to watch John for many, many years because I knew him long before I was mayor when I worked at Cocoon House and he was on my board of directors and I saw his leadership there. I know that he will be able to follow in Chief Templeman's footsteps of leading by example and that our department is in very good hands. And so I'd like to invite Deputy Chief John DeRoos to be sworn in by the clerk.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, John DeRoos,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I am a citizen of the United States
that I am a citizen of the United States
or a lawful permanent resident,
or a lawful permanent resident,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Washington,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Washington,
and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Everett,
and the Charter and the ordinances of the City of Everett,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly, and impartially
honestly, and impartially
perform the duties of Chief of Police
perform the duties of Chief of Police
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
It's an honor.
Thank you.
I want to thank Chief DeRoos's family who's here, especially Carrie. Thank you for your service as well and to the entire family. We really appreciate the time that John's going to have to take away from all of you and his dedication and service to our community, and I've asked him to share a few words. So welcome to our new police chief.
Thank you. Today marks a new chapter for the city of Everett, but the truth is things aren't going to change very much. Some, I think, are a little unsure and uncertain what life is like after Dan Templeman, but we don't need to worry. The benefit of leading this department today is that it's not broken and nothing major needs to be fixed. There doesn't need to be any sweeping changes. We just need to keep practicing what we learned over the last 9.5 years and applying it, and his guidance will continue to live on in our culture. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't have any changes or that we won't tweak the way we do business. We did that before. It means we will be mindful and intentional with how we make change, that we will continue to look forward and look for those pitfalls that might be coming down the road and try to get in front of them before they become insurmountable. We need to continue to include our community in all the work we do so that we can build trust and that we have buy-in not only when things go well, but when things don't go well. We will continue to focus on developing our current and our future leaders so they become extra resources for us throughout the community and at all ends of this organization. That way, when it's our turn to lead, when it's my turn to lead, and some of the other leaders behind me, they can step up and take our places. We'll continue to be introspective and be humble when people question or challenge our work. We'll own it when we make mistakes, and we'll ask to be held accountable by those people that expect us to help them, and they rely on us. Our problems in this community are real. the gun violence and the drug and untreated mental health crisis. They task the Everett Police Department, they task this community in ways that seem like real dilemmas, and they seem unsolvable. I think they're challenging, but they're not unsolvable. We need whole community solutions to focus on these whole community issues. And we at EPD, certainly under my leadership, we're committed to doing the hard work at the direction and in collaboration with the mayor and council and with a lot more people in our community. I want to talk a little bit about the people I owe gratitude to. First, I have to say that there are so many people I couldn't even mention the number of people that have helped me develop as a person and as a police officer throughout my career. Many of them are in this room or behind me. And like I said, I couldn't thank them all. Some people aren't here, they couldn't make it, and some people have passed away. And I've learned a lot from those people, and I owe them a lot. At the top of that list, though, is Dan Templeman. And I just can't explain how many times over the last 5 years that I walked back and forth between our offices, probably wore a hole in the carpet, just asking him to take a few minutes to explain to me why we were approaching something a certain way or why we were doing it the way we were doing it. And he always took the time, and I was blessed to also be included in a lot of the major decisions that our department has made. So, thank you. I also want to thank my parents and my brother and his wife. They're here today. They've been so supportive my whole life, but certainly as a police officer, they've always been there. My parents, they drove me to my first police interview as an applicant 29 years ago, and very patiently stood by when I threw up afterwards. I'm okay today, but it was a moment we talk about a lot, and they're here today, which is great. Finally, I want to say thanks to my wife and my kids. My kids are adults now, and they had the hard task of growing up in a household with a pretty strict dad who was a police officer. So it's pretty exciting now to redevelop a relationship with them as young adults. It's been great. But I'm especially grateful for my wife, Carrie. She's been a consistent believer in me, there every day, always there to show her love and her compassion, remind me about the good things in the world, and the best part is her really big hugs after a really tough day at work. So I'm blessed to have her in my life, and I thank her as well. That's all I have. I just want to let you know, and everybody know, I'm incredibly grateful and honored to take on this position at the Everett Police Department. Thank you.
So again, a big welcome to our new chief, DeRusse. And with that, I have no further comments this evening.
Thank you. And we are going to go to public comment, but then council members will get an opportunity to say a few words to our new chief. Angie, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
Yes, we do. We have 2 online and 1 in chambers, so we'll start with those online. I'll start with Jeremy. If you could unmute and wait for me to share my clock so you can monitor the 3 minutes that you have. And go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Olson. I'm from District 3 in Everett, Washington. Good evening, Mayor. Nice to see you again. First, congratulations to Chief DeRusse. Wow, that's awesome. I think as a citizen of this city, I couldn't be any happier with the decision made, and I'm very excited to see him follow behind an amazing chief that we just had. So congratulations. Tonight, I just wanted to talk about some observations that I've seen through community members about the website, and I know that there's some things that are being worked on, and also about public comments, or excuse me, not public comments, public records requests and searches. And I understand that it's very taxing on the staff and it takes a lot of work. And I've noticed other cities that use the exact same government QA platform that Everett does actually shares the public information that's been requested and who it was requested by. And I think that in a time where we need to be extremely transparent, and when we have people that are questioning leadership, it's important for the city to be absolutely as transparent as possible. And so I just ask that the city think about switching to that type of a platform, that when somebody makes a public records request, that it's put out there for anyone in anyone in the public to see that this person has made this request and here's what information was provided to them. I think it's an accountability thing, and I think it also could help save staff time if somebody saw that that's already been requested and they see the information and they're satisfied with that. And so it's just something that I've seen. I hope that the website continues to get better, and I look forward to that. And thank you for your time. Have a great evening. Congratulations again, Chief. So excited. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Next, we have John. If you could unmute and turn your camera on if possible. You'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Yes.
Oh, one moment. You'll have 3 minutes to speak, and you can start as soon as you see the timer on the screen. And state your full name and city of residence.
Yes, John Hollis. I live in Everett, Washington. Congratulations, Chief. I'm addressing the council on the following issues. I'm concerned about the excessive speeding on Colby Avenue, specifically Colby and 14th, although it may begin before then, but constantly these people fail to yield to pedestrians in the crosswalk. It's not, they don't even acknowledge them. They drive by. This is very serious. You have to be concerned about somebody's going to get injured. My proposal was to install a four-way stop sign on the corner of 14th and Colby. This should not affect emergency vehicles because they have to make a sharp turn at that point anyway, so they would not be speeding. I've had a very good conversation with Sergeant Davis and my council person in emails, so I would like to propose this to happen. Install a four-way stop sign on 14th and Colby. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Next, we have our person in chambers. So, Brennan, if you would like to come to the podium. And click the right button on the base. There we go. And then if you could state your full name, city of residence, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak. We'll let you know when you need to wrap up.
Sounds good. I shouldn't need that. But Brandon Ediger, I live in Bothell, and I am going to be the new operator for the Chick-fil-A coming to Everett Mall. And so I brought one of my top leaders with me, Giselle Hinojosa. And the first question, we've both been local here for years, but the first question I always get is, when are we going to open? And I wish I had a really great answer for that. We're backed up a little bit on power. Should be getting that this week. And so hoping to open before Christmas. And so that's the target. And just really quickly, our vision as we open is we want to care well for Everett. And so that'll take on a couple different forms. Part of that will be through providing jobs for over 120, 130 people. Even now, several weeks out, I think our current hire total is about 75. And so being able to provide a avenue where people can provide for themselves and families is just super exciting for us. Another piece of that is just partnering with local nonprofits. And so we've committed to donate food every single week to Community Resource Network so that they can achieve their vision of feeding the hungry around them and serving the community well. Before my career with Chick-fil-A, I was in nonprofit ministry and worked for a while. And so we know the value of having a place in the city that is safe and can be trusted. And we're excited to be that in Everett. And so just a quick thank you. Thanks for letting us be a part of the community here. I've had many reach out, including Mayor Franklin, just with great support and encouragement. And we're excited to be a part of it. So thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. And President Stonecipher, that concludes our public comments.
Great, thank you very much. And we will go down to council comments and liaison reports. But first, I wanted to note that the public hearing for item 12 pertaining to the state fire code has been removed from tonight's agenda because there's been a delay in the state adopting that code. So we will take that, or the council will take that up next year after the state decides what they are doing. We will still take anyone who wants public comment and council members who want to make comments. We will still do that because that was a public hearing that was announced. Yes, question on that?
I saw a motion in the audience, and I'm wondering if that person wanted to speak but didn't have, in the blue, next to the wall.
But I didn't sign up, there was too many people, so that's cool.
If you,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. We will go to council comments and liaison reports, starting with Vice President Tui.
Thank you. Are we getting the chief back in here, or we don't know? He's, might be gone. That's fine.
Kibitzing
I'll-
with his people.
He seems to be with his family, but yes.
Okay.
Jeff,
Here he comes.
all right, he's here.
Well, I just.
Council wants to share their words with you.
Well, congratulations, Chief, and I was honored to be able to be included in the interview process that we had last week. And I was very, very impressed. I knew I would be, but it was even more than I thought. And my big takeaway was he's going to lead by example. And that's what we want. The highest standards and ethics, and with transparency and honesty. So I'm really honored that you're our chief. So congratulations on that. And then, should I do the rest of mine, or do we want to just go down? Okay. And then I just want to announce that I've finalized some of my plans for my ARPA allocation. So I'll just read those off. To the Madre de Casino Road Food Bank, I've allocated $30,000. And staff will work with them on that. The Everett Public Library is going to be putting in a permanent book walk at Haug Homestead Park on Silver Lake. It consists of 20 permanent page holders to make up the walk, and it will come with the 20 permanent holders plus, I think, several books, and that was $25,000. And then Councilmember Schwab and I are both providing $20,000 each to the Office of Neighborhoods to provide grant money to establish our neighborhood block watch for added community public safety all around the city. So that will start up in 2024. So I want to thank the staff for helping me get all this arranged, and excited about that. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Ryan.
He's coming back. He's trying to quiet his family.
All right, maybe I could do my second. I could do my second. Oh, great. Drew says. Great. Congratulations, Chief DeRoos. We are also grateful and honored to have you in this new role with our city. It's clear that Templeman's built a very great bench, so we're definitely reaping the benefits of that. I know that the police department and all residents of Everett are in really good hands, and the department's in a good place, and I know that you're going to carry that torch very well. And I'm grateful for your commitment to officer wellness and support, and ensuring that morale stays high and stays in a healthy place. So thank you for your commitment to serve, and to your family's commitment to support you as you take on this new role. So congratulations again. For my council updates, I had a fabulously Everett-centric weekend. Did the downtown trick-or-treat with the kiddos, and it was very well attended. Lots of hustle and bustle downtown, which was great. My kiddos went to the Halloween on Ice event at the Everett skate rink later that day. I attended the last farmers market on Sunday and had fun last night with the neighborhood trick-or-treating with the kids. And it was just really wonderful, and lots of families out and lots of excitement. So it was just great to see that just excitement for the city come through. And all of the fun, though, was under the shadow of the struggles that the city of Everett's having with street-level crime and drug use. And on the way downtown for trick-or-treating, passed by 6 or so folks in a doorway that were slumped over and in various stages of using, and that's difficult to explain to a couple of kids. And windows smashed out downtown, which is always hard to see, and vacancies, and having to skip between businesses because of vacancies downtown for collecting goodies for the kiddos, and just general concerns too about gun violence in public spaces. So I look forward to the work and the recommendations that come from the Mayor's Drug Task Force initiative, and continued support for upstream interventions, and the continued hard work of our new police chief, and hopeful that our city will take a turn for the better soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Vogely.
Good evening, everybody. Chief DeRoos, welcome. It's very exciting to have you, and I am just finding it a little bit humorous that you're already being pulled away about 6 or 7 times. So I didn't prepare anything, and it's been nice to know you so far, and I'm sure it will continue. So I'm happy with this choice. That's all.
Thank you. Councilmember Schwab.
Chief, congratulations. I'm very pleased with the decision of the committee and the mayor. I want to thank you for your service up to this point. I know you've done a lot in your career to prepare yourself. It takes a lot to really get to this position, and you've done it in a way that's humble, and the way you have gotten support from the troops. It's fantastic. Thank you. And I look forward to working with you and partnering with you as a council and the mayor's staff on the many challenges we have. You're outstanding pick for it, and I appreciate your willingness to step up. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Zarlingo.
Well, Councilmember Schwab's comments reflect my own. You know full well what's involved in the job and the department and the history, and you're still willing to step up. I admire that. I'm looking forward to working with you and figuring out ways that we, as a council, can support the department and keep that all in alignment with our values and serving our citizens. So congratulations. And also, I guess, establishing a culture that really carries things forward. I'd like to thank Chief Templeman, and also the process of creating an organization that grows from within, that seeks to have that continuity of culture. I'd like to congratulate and thank Mayor Franklin for being part of that, so that what we can do here is welcome one of our own, homegrown and really experienced here. And I think it'll be a smoother transition, it'll be a better transition, because we aren't needing to make major course changes. We aren't needing to introduce someone who doesn't know the environment. So firing on all cylinders, I think, though there are big challenges, this much better puts us in a position to address them. So thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you, Chief DeRoos. Thank you for your continued service to the residents of Everett. We're so glad to have you in this role. I feel like the city is so fortunate that we have had a very high-functioning department that allows us to promote people from within. So many police departments, when someone leaves, whether they want to or not, are casting about trying to find someone at a national level. And we're very fortunate that we have you waiting in the wings and others behind you, as you point out, to take those leadership roles and keep the continuity and culture alive in our community. So thank you very much, and thank you for your service. This isn't an easy job, and particularly at this time in our world, but we appreciate your willingness to step forward and serve in this capacity. So, and to your family too. I know they've stepped out to join the party. So at that, I'm sure you will go join them. Thank you. That's all the comments I have. Do we have an administrative update this evening?
No update this evening.
Thank you. And now we'll move to our city attorney, Mr. Hall. What do you have for us this
I have
evening?
one more thing. I didn't want to keep talking, and the chief kept going back and forth, so.
Thank you.
I just wanted to let the council members know that I'm part of the AWC Legislative Priorities Committee. And so as many of the legislational needs that we have here in the city are shared by many. So please, your input is welcome.
Great.
And we'll start that process. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Attorney Hall.
No report. no executive session, and our new chief disappeared before I could say nice things about him. But
He's at the party now.
I've been very fortunate for 16 years to work with Chief DeRusse in various capacities. I've just been so impressed with him, both as a professional and as a person, so I could not be happier with that choice.
Thank you. We will move now to our consent agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the 8 consent items?
Councilmember Ryan moves approval of the 8 consent agenda items.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Vice President Tui,
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely,
Yes.
Councilmember Schwab,
Yes.
Councilmember Zarlingo,
Yes.
President Stonecipher.
Yes, and we have 3 proposed action items that are second readings. They've already been read into the record, but items 9, 10, and 11. Do we have any comments on those proposed action items? Seeing none, we're going to move on to the rest of our agenda. So first I'll ask, Angie, did we have anyone signed up for public comment for the public hearing on item 12?
No, we do not.
Okay, so we will not open the public hearing for that. That has been foregone until next year. And we will move on to item 13. Item 13 is also a public hearing. I will read the item, and it's item 13, Council Bill 2310-51, third and final reading. Adopt an ordinance relating to maximum building heights for schools, amending chapters 19.04, 19.05, and 19.13 of the Everett Municipal Code. I will now open the public hearing, and we will, yes, thank you. We have Yorick Stevens-Wajda here, our planning director, to give us some comments before we find out what the public has to say.
Thank you, Council President Stonecipher, members of the council. I'm Yorick Stevens-Wajda, planning director. Provided a full briefing on this item at the October 18th meeting, so I'll just hit a few high points today and see what questions you may have for me. The proposed ordinance addresses K through 12 schools, whether public or private. School remodels, expansions, or new constructions are regulated under the Development Code by the Use Matrix, a set of special regulations in EMC 1913.180 and the maximum height building map. The review process for school projects differs by zone. Our S and R1 zones is a conditional use permit, hearing examiner decision after public notice and an open public hearing. Other residential zones and light industrial is an administrative use permit, which is a planning director decision after public notice, and it's a permitted use in the neighborhood business, and mixed urban zones. The proposal before you today would allow new and remodeled schools to exceed the underlying height limit on the city's building and structure height map, subject to approval of the project using an administrative or conditional use permit. The proposal would also drop a fixed requirement for buildings over 25 feet to have an additional setback of 1 foot for each foot over 25 feet in height. Both of those fixed requirements would be replaced by the discretionary review that includes criteria specifically looking to compatibility of the school project with surrounding development. Finally, there are a few housekeeping amendments to clean up definitions and titles in the use matrix and the definitions chapter. The city issued a determination of non-significance in September. Public notice has been done per the list on page 4 of the memo, and the Planning Commission recommends approval via Resolution 23-03. Happy to take any questions or go into more detail on
Any questions for Mr. Stevens-Wajda? Yes, Councilmember Ryan.
Thank you. So I assume this went through the Planning Commission and also our Built Environment Committee?
I think we did come to the Built Environment Committee.
And then I did go through the Planning Commission as well?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
And they recommended it.
And they recommended it in the Built Environment?
Built Environment Committee doesn't, or committees, as far as I know, don't do recommendations, but did have some questions and discussions on it.
Great. But overall, no glaring concerns?
No.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions before we go to public comment? Angie, do we have anyone signed up to speak for this public hearing?
No, we do not.
We do not. Okay, I will.
Actually, I'll make just a quick comment based on
Thank you.
your question. There is I guess, a stair step of elevations that will gradually increase as the farther you get from the property line, which I thought was an important factor. Jump in if you need to be corrected.
Yeah, there currently, the code requirement is there are setbacks which differ by zone. side setbacks 5 or 10 feet, rear setbacks of 20 feet. In current code for buildings over 25 feet high, those would need to be set back an additional 1 foot for every foot in height that exceeds 25 feet. We are proposing to remove that fixed sliding scale and replace it with the discretionary review. So we would look at each site characteristics individually, and we'd consider the public comments. There's public notice and opportunity for comments in any of these routes, and take that all into account and make a decision based on the criteria that would remain in code.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm thinking now not so much of the regulations, but what's more common. It seems like the most common school heights are a full 2 stories, often with flat roofs, but that can be in excess of especially the single-family zoning. And I guess the other thing I'm thinking about here is that this all seems to be reflecting a community that where we built out most of the buildable land, so most of these school improvements will be going up and a fuller occupancy of those sites. But I am comfortable that the revised process and criteria are accommodating that, and that we need this change.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Vice President Tui?
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely?
Yes?
Councilmember Schwab?
Yes.
Councilmember Zarlingo?
Yes.
President Stonecipher?
Yes, and now do I hear a motion to adopt Council Bill 2310-51?
I move to adopt all those numbers.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Any final questions or comments? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Vice President Tui?
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely?
Yes?
Councilmember Schwab?
Yes.
Councilmember Zarlingo?
Yes.
President Stonecipher?
Yes, and with no further business or executive session, we are adjourned.